Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I am Tom Shalhoub. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, Donald Trump nominates Judge Neil Gorsuch to fill the vacancy on the Supreme Court. We'll have an interview with Gorsuch's charming, witty, and handsome college friend straight ahead. Plus, sports reporters put pressure on Tom Brady to denounce his friend Donald Trump. Honestly, who cares? All that matters is that the Patriots lose the Super Bowl.
Hey!
That's it. And finally, is the female-led reboot Ocean's 8 sexist for only having 72% of the roles men had in the previous film? Our 80% male panel debates. Oh, wait, John DeVore's on. Our 50% male panel debate. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. After Central and Fenway, she's my favorite park. Fox 5 News anchor Christina Park.
I'm the chick.
Here come the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Author of Razzle Dazzle, The Battle for Broadway. Theater columnist for the New York Post, Michael Riedel.
Woo!
He's what we call a bleeding heartthrob. Award-winning essayist, political satirist, and liberal hunk, John DeVore. And he likes it raw, but prefers SmackDown. Sitting right next to me, from the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts morning show on Sirius XM and the Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast, Sam Roberts. Okay, let's start the show. President Trump has selected a brilliant legal mind for Supreme Court Justice. And more importantly, he kept it a surprise. The president, who knows a little about creating television drama, announced his pick, Judge Neil Gorsuch, during a live primetime address. White House spokesman Sean Spicer later explained how they kept it a secret. Gorsuch, who lives outside Boulder, Colorado, was informed on Monday. White House staff picked him up and drove back roads to make sure they wouldn't be spotted with him. Here's video of him in the car. Then he was flown by a military jet from Colorado to Washington, where he stayed with a friend rather than at a hotel. Once in D.C., the White House helped Gorsuch disguise his appearance. Here's a picture of him hours before the announcement.
Oh.
The effort paid off. On Tuesday night, the president basked in the moment.
So was that a surprise? Was it?
It's always good. You got to have a surprise, right? Sam?
Yeah, he nailed it.
I think Trump is good at this kind of thing. He created the suspense. He made it kind of special for people. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I didn't know who was going to get it. If it was Gorsuch, if it was Corinne, I couldn't tell, but it did end up being Gorsuch. This is so pro wrestling.
Yes.
This is like when you, like, because I went to Raw once and Sting was on the show, but I didn't know Sting was on the show.
Sting.
Sting. Not the singer, the wrestler, the Sting.
Yeah.
Because they put him in a hoodie, they snuck him in, they did the whole thing.
Yeah.
You need theatrics like this in politics. This is what's going to make kids be interested in this stuff again. They make it like a reality show. Get a trending topic in the corner so people know what to hashtag. Like, it's got to be a show. Otherwise, what's the new generation going to watch?
That is so true. John DeVore, Trump makes it fun. Except you and all your friends, all you do is you protest and you try to bring the whole thing down.
Right. We only want this to be serious. The selection of a man who's going to be one of 9 people representing one of the branches of government.
Yeah.
Right. But no, we should make it silly, like a beauty queen pageant, right?
Well, wait a minute.
We are stupid people, and we deserve this stupidity. I mean, that's liberals.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
John,
Absolutely right.
Wouldn't you agree that liberals were the ones who started this whole thing with the Supreme Court? When back in the 80s, I remember Judge Bork.
Oh, you're going to bring up Bork.
Yeah,
Bork was a terrible nominee.
He was one of the brilliant legal minds of his generation, Bork was. He should be on the Supreme Court. He was run down by the Ted Kennedys of the world back in those days.
Read it.
My goodness.
Read it. You remember
20, 30 years ago?
But it started there, but it's been with every nominee since then, right? I wish, Michael, and I think you agree with me, that the judicial branch was separate. It was kind of sacred in the old days, wasn't it?
Completely.
Without party.
And Gorsuch is a brilliant choice. He's a sensible, conservative, but not Looney Tune right-winger in the mold of the great Justice Scalia. He's a brilliant writer, and he will do what justices should do. He will look at the Constitution, and he will determine his rulings based on what the Constitution says, not what he wants it to say from his political point of view, which is what liberals have been doing.
He will roll over like a dog and show his belly. That's exactly what he'll do.
I don't even know what that means, John DeVore.
He is a complete and total partisan in this regard.
And by the way, if the liberals filibuster it, I think it's time to use the nuclear option and get rid of the filibuster. And who started it? Harry Reid, a Democratic senator. He's the one who did it first, and Mitch McConnell should do it now and call an end to these liberals trying to run down good appointments to the Supreme Court.
Christina, look, I want to talk about the reality show aspect of it.
Yeah.
Some people said it reminded them of The Bachelor.
You know, it reminded me of Mission Impossible, where it's like, doo-doo, 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 and like Tom Cruise like rips off his mask and he's Judge Gorsuch. It's really amazing. Right? The White House can finally keep a secret. So President Trump said he would drain the swamp. He drained the swamp and moles and rats along with it. I'm impressed.
Well, isn't it important to keep a secret? Because this is what you're talking about. You have to manage the news cycle. So, you know,
good timing on that one, too, by the way.
You know, the only
also impressive.
Why, it was timing. Why was it good timing? Because,
you know, right after the whole...
There's been some controversy, are you trying to say?
The ban, or is it a ban?
I haven't noticed any controversy.
The only person Trump told is his good friend Vladimir Putin. I'm sure he called him to let him know that Gorsuch was going to be on.
Finally, a little less transparency in the White House. That, I think, is what we can all agree on at the table we've been asking for.
Yes. Well, look, I can't remember what, you know, the Obama White House, they loved pageantry, did they not?
Obama, like you thought he would. It seemed like when he was getting elected, there was going to be pageantry, and the posters were like the coolest posters ever, and the T-shirts all looked good.
Yeah.
But there wasn't enough.
Oh, you thought that you needed more?
No, you got there, and it'd be like, oh, when Obama was speaking, it wasn't like, oh my God, I got to watch this. I don't know what's going to happen. Who's he going to pull out? What's the shock going to be? What's the twist?
This is a serious thing. This is not this is not like a drama. This is not theater.
It's pretty dramatic.
This is a serious thing, and he completely... the whole scene was not serious. It just wasn't.
I'm starting to think you don't like Trump, DeVore.
I despise him.
Okay, so it turns out our very own TV's Andy Levy not only knew Neil Gorsuch in college, but started a campus newspaper with him. Let's bring in TV's Andy Levy right now to get the scoop on that. Andy, thank you for joining us.
I'm not really comfortable talking about this, Tom.
Look, Andy, you guys, tell me about the paper. It was called The Fed, but it was The Federalist.
It was called The Federalist paper because the three guys who wrote the Federalist papers, John J. Alexander Hamilton, and the third guy,
James Madison. James Madison.
Yeah, whatever. They went to Columbia or whatever. Honestly, Neil was the one who came up with the name. I wanted it to be called the Columbia Independent to show that we were independent. I lost that battle.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So were there battles, you know, on the editorial staff of what should be published? I heard it was satirical in nature.
People keep saying that. It is now a satirical newspaper. It was not when we founded it. It's morphed into that since then. But no, we wanted it to really be, look, this was Columbia in the 1980s, as opposed to Columbia now, which is a hotbed of conservative and libertarianism, from what I hear. Really. But kids won't remember, back in the 80s, colleges were very liberal.
They were.
And we just wanted there to be an opportunity for other voices on campus to be heard. So we started this newspaper.
I was at Columbia then, and the Federalist paper was an excellent paper, much better than that left-wing pinko commie rag, the Columbia Spectator.
Well, I did not go to an Ivy League college. I went to a state school.
Let me get some information
from the hat.
From Andy. So, Andy, this was a newspaper. Yes. So how did you do it? Would you email the printer, and then they would print them up for you?
Tom, this was the 1980s. There was barely electricity. There was certainly no electronic mail.
How did you make a newspaper?
We literally would have to sit there. We had to teach ourselves how to lay out a newspaper. You would sit there with an X-Acto knife and rubber cement, and you would cut the stories.
You're joking.
No, this is how you did it back then, and you would put it on this special paper with the name of which I'm blanking on.
Film. It was like a film.
And you would lay it all out, and then you would send it off to a printer for them to print, 5,000, 10,000 copies, whatever, and inevitably you would find a typo or something after you sent it off to them. Then you'd have to find out how much it would cost for them to fix it. And it was an unbelievable hassle. And then eventually Columbia got Macintoshes, which are a kind of computer. And they got like 10 or 15 of them in the campus computer center. And we learned how to do stuff on the Mac, but that was, again, we had to teach ourselves this. There was no, this was 90 years ago, I think.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So, Andy, about his politics, was he comfortable with your politics? Did he share your ninth wave feminism?
I don't believe he would consider himself a ninth wave feminist even today. To be fair, I was not a ninth wave feminist back then. I was maybe fourth or fifth wave. Again, this was a long time ago. No, but we, one of the things when we founded this was we didn't want it to be an alternative voice. We wanted it to be a bunch of alternative voices. So among the four founders, there were conservatives, there was me, the wacko libertarian, and there was even a guy who considered himself a democratic socialist.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wow. So, Andy, I sometimes call this the no-spin zone.
Sure.
Would you say...
That's catchy.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Bottom line, do you think he will be a good Supreme Court justice?
I think probably he will. I'll get in Halftime Report, I'll get into why John DeVore was completely wrong in one of the things he said. But look, Neil was he's an unbelievably bright guy. He graduated Columbia in 3 years, which is a third of the time it took me.
Yeah.
And that's not even a joke. I wish it were. And he's incredibly level-headed, and he was back then, and I assume he is now a person of incredible integrity.
Excellent. Andy, I want to get your take on this bit of tape we have here. Greg Gutfeld, who I think you know, he was talking about you. And
I'm not sure who that is. What's the name again?
Greg Gutfeld. He was talking about this appointment today, and he brought up
Gutfeld.
Gutfeld. He brought up Andy Levy. Let's roll the tape.
Oh.
It's got to be pretty sad to be Andy Levy, because you got to think how woefully underachieved you are in your life, that he is going to be Supreme Court Justice, and you are the red-eye ombudsman, and have been the red-eye ombudsman for almost 10 years. By the way, it's an influential position, I might add, but it's no Supreme Court Justice.
I want to get your take on that, Andy. First of all, what's an ombudsman? Is that your position, ombudsman?
That is my position.
It is.
Yes.
And would you describe it as an influential position?
I think it absolutely is. I think I don't want to knock down Glenn's point there, but there are 9 Supreme Court justices. There's only one ombudsman.
That's right. Yes.
Also, I looked it up. My job pays better.
So you had to look that up?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I wasn't sure how much the Supreme Court justices made.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean,
Public information got to be.
I mean,
it is public.
How much do they make?
How much do they make?
How much do they make?
Well, I don't want to say that because then people will know I make more than that.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. It was very revealing.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we got to give them a raise. I mean, come on, that isn't a.
I think we should give me a raise to. Oh, them?
Yeah, the Supreme
No,
Court.
they're fine. Please.
I don't know if that's a
Again,
good
there's 9 of them doing the work of one person. Come on. Give me a break.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
Okay.
Moving on. Tom Brady is best known for his outrageous behavior off the field. That's why he's called football's bad boy. The latest scandal, he refuses to denounce his pal, Donald Trump. Yes, the greatest quarterback God ever created is friends with the greatest jobs president that God ever created. But does his friendship with Donald Trump matter? According to a headline from The Nation, yes, Tom Brady's friendship with Donald Trump matters. And other outlets agree. HuffPo, Tom Brady's politics are more un-American than Colin Kaepernick's have ever been. USA Today, Tom Brady has some explaining to do on Donald Trump. The newspaper notes, in refusing to publicly disavow Trump's actions, Brady is giving tacit endorsement to both Trump and the chaos he has created. Yes, it's not enough for liberals to control the news media. Now, they want to control sports media, too. Sorry, Kurt Schilling, but we're bringing in a lefty to close. Sports is supposed to be a politics-free zone, a place where Democrats and Republicans alike can join together, forget their worries, and celebrate that we live in this great nation where the Pats can win another Super Bowl. Sam?
Yeah.
That was good.
Do you agree with me that these sports journalists are getting out of hand?
First of all, I agree with you that Tom Brady really is the bad boy. He's like the second coming of Dennis Rodman.
He really
on
is.
that football field.
Yeah, the different haircuts.
It's crazy what this guy's doing out there. It's like, pay attention to the game. But I think the whole reason that one becomes an athlete is so that they don't have to deal with, like, stuff from books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not generally good at both most of the time. You're really good at football, so you don't have to know stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that's where Tom Brady's at, and he's just a guy who Donald Trump was like, hey, we could be buddies.
Yeah.
And, like, I would think anybody would be like, yeah, let's be buddies, politics aside. I don't think Tom Brady needs to be held to the coals for his politics because he probably doesn't have any.
He seems very neutral, John DeVore. It's the left that will. I never remember anyone on the right giving grief to people for being friends with someone. He didn't even put the hat on, DeVore. He just had it in his locker.
Was there a question there?
You can find it in there.
I mean, I don't like football.
Well, look. Why is why can't the left wing? They're not happy with America's newspapers and editorial pages. Now they got to run the sports pages as well.
Well, that's part of the bigger conversation we're having about whether or not sports athletes or celebrities should be responsible for their politics. And I say yes, they should.
They should.
Absolutely, 100%. If you're going to be public about your politics, and if you're in the public sphere, and if you make a living off of people tuning in, buying tickets, what have you, yeah, you should be responsible for your public political leanings. And Brady is BFFs with Donald Trump.
So what? So what? What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? Right. So what? He can be friends with them, and also he can be despised for that and other reasons.
But does he have to come out and these newspapers?
They want him to come out and denounce Donald Trump.
Yes.
And by the way, it's not. I don't know if it's sports journalists. I mean, when's the last time you turned to the Nation for the sports scores? Please.
Well, they're out there too. Look at the sports pages. Look at the sports websites. They're all saying Tom Brady is like a right-wing nut just because he accepts a phone call from the president.
He should ignore them because a lot of football fans, I bet, are Donald Trump supporters, and they'll be behind Tom Brady because of this.
That's it. Christina Park, you know, I never heard
like
anyone
soccer
around here complaining about Colin Kaepernick's politics. Did you?
He's got Giselle.
What's that?
He's got Giselle. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Life is good.
Although
You've got Giselle.
But the thing is, her politics, something tells me that's why he's a little gun-shy with the politics, because she has tweeted against Trump. So she actually does get political, doesn't
Sometimes
she?
conflict is good in a marriage. Haven't you heard that before?
I have.
Yeah.
I think it's true for them. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Do you think the Patriots are going to win or the Falcons are going to lose? Which
Who do I think is going to win? Who I hope will win?
Yeah, hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah, there you go.
What about you?
You know,
Patriots.
I read, Sam, that most of the country wants the Patriots to lose. I couldn't
That's
believe
what this Tom Brady story is about, by the way.
What?
It's like people want another reason to hate Tom Brady. Like that, and so now they're like, oh, well, he doesn't like Trump. People, whether it's like they don't like it because he's got the hottest wife in the world, or because he's super rich, or because he keeps playing football, or now it's because, oh, he loves Trump. He's all of a sudden he's BFFs with him because Donald Trump shouts him out in a couple speeches.
Why? Just because he's good? I mean, people
are jealous. I don't have any skills that are as good as his skill of football.
But everyone loved Derek Jeter. They loved him forever.
Did they?
They did.
He was a Yankee. The Yankees are a beloved team. Nobody hates the Yankees.
That's it. It's anti-Boston bigotry. That's what it is.
You know who's going to win on Sunday?
Who?
Head trauma. Massive head trauma. And then 20 years later, they're spitting up pudding because we force these people to bash their heads against each other for money.
The nanny state. The nanny state
I
is back in charge.
I just care about brains.
Sounds like Will Smith in that movie.
I know.
Tell the truth.
Exactly. Taking the fun out of everything. Coming up, is it a good idea to shake hands with President Trump? Not if you have sandwiches to make. We'll explain next.
Why do some cashback cards make earning bonus cashback?
Trump has the Midas touch. Except, instead of gold, everything he touches turns into an object of liberal scorn. Lefty activists are boycotting a chain of hoagie shops in D.C. because the owner dared to shake President Trump's hand. Casey Patton, who co-founded Taylor Gourmet, was photographed with the president after a ceremony announcing a White House initiative to cut regulations for small businesses. The meeting was reported by a local blog, and soon Twitter was in a tizzy. One woman wrote, "Looks like I won't be eating at Taylor Gourmet anymore." Another tweeted, tip, if you like having customers, maybe don't collaborate with a fascist regime that opposes our human rights.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love it.
One more.
God.
Taylor Gourmet, you won't be getting any more of my money. Enjoy selling your hate sandwiches. Patton himself isn't very political. In fact, ads for his hoagie chain state, less politics, more hoagies.
Yes.
Yes. And he says he used the meeting to politely tell Trump that many of his immigrant employees are nervous about the future of America and their place in it.
Aww.
Whatever. The internet hopes he chokes on his hate sandwiches. Michael Riedel, do you like hoagies? You don't seem like a hoagie man to
I'm
me.
not. No, I'm not actually. No, I'm not. I prefer a nice, rare Argentinian beef steak washed down with a beautiful
Fancy.
Malbec from the Mendoza Valley.
Oh my God! I can't believe you're not a Hillary voter.
I do not eat in chain stores. That said, this man does not deserve the score. I'm an elitist. What do you want? This man does not deserve the scorn heaped on him by you left-wing lunatics who are out to destroy anybody who even gets near President Trump. He went there to talk to him about his small businesses, about his employees. His job is to talk to the president about those regulations. He's running a company. And you heap scorn on him for that? What is wrong with you people?
What is wrong with you?
Donald Trump's unpopular. Donald Trump is unpopular.
He is?
He's not a popular guy. Don't be near him. Don't, when he walks through a field of flowers, they wilt and they die.
Oh, no.
He's unpopular. He had one of the lowest electoral counts in modern history.
Wait, hold.
He absolutely
Still
did.
fighting that
He had
battle.
one of the he did.
I don't even know what you're talking
A
about.
majority of Republicans didn't even vote for him in the primary. Bruce Springsteen hates him.
He won,
He's
right?
unpopular. Sure. He had one of the lowest electoral counts.
You're talking about the thing
modern
he
history.
excelled at.
I'm just
He got
telling
over
you, he's not a popular guy.
I don't know where to go with that.
I love hoagies,
And did
by the way.
everything you guys believe in, and it's a joy
Sam,
to watch.
Yeah.
It's the thing is, this guy's trying to be. He's trying to be an American. If you get called to the White House, I don't care who you are.
Right.
I think you should go. And I was no fan of the Obama administration. But if they asked me to come down and have lunch, I would have gone down.
Yeah, no, and I think most people would and should. But first of all, like this is really bad for him either way, because we were all talking about Taylor Gourmet.
Taylor
whatever,
Gourmet, yeah.
Hoagies before this story. It was really on everybody's tongue. He does deserve scorn, though. Only after I read the article did I realize this, because he said that he sat in his car crying about the mean tweets he was getting. Crying. Yeah. He's a business owner. He's not exactly Michael Douglas in Wall Street. He's crying over mean tweets that he's getting. Well, this is not a guy who's cut out for success.
I didn't know that. Sensitivity is fine. Having feelings is okay.
See, DeVore, he might be your kind of guy. This hoagie entrepreneur
who made a fatal error,
crying in his car,
touching Trump.
But this guy's a Republican. He said he didn't vote. He didn't even know if he was registered, and then they found out he had registered in 2002 as a Republican. So.
Don't meet with President Radiation.
Look,
you'll get sick.
But Christina, I think that the real problem here is that anybody who it's the same situation with Tom Brady, is it not? That it's guilt by association. I thought we all agreed that was a bad thing.
After the Hollywood whining, I feel like the left is becoming what they are accusing the conservatives of becoming.
Yes.
This is such shocking bullying, shaming, and it's like the hate is getting angrier and uglier on both sides. It's like, who can become more ugly these days? And it's filling me with anxiety.
It is.
Almost on a daily basis.
Why don't you have anxiety? You seem to just be...
He's on drugs.
I'm great.
Yeah.
It's, my job's easy. We're on the opposition. I oppose. I'm not in power. I don't have to take responsibility for anything.
I remember what that was like.
You guys do.
Actually, I do.
I'm delighted because we're going to run the country well.
I envy you, DeVore. It was a lot easier when Obama was elected, and all I could do was complain day and night. Fantastic. Coming up, halftime with TV's Andy Levy, and a brand new episode of the Red Eye Podcast is available now. Subscribe on iTunes and on FoxNewsRadio.com. Welcome back. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy over in the Red Eye News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good.
Good. I supposed to say that interview you did with the guy who went to college with Gorsuch?
Yes.
Fantastic.
It was great interview.
It might be the best guest you've ever had.
I think it was. Compelling.
Yeah, no, it really was. You should have him on more often. Speaking of the Gorsuch nomination, Sam, you said you need theatrics like this in politics. You need to make it like a reality show.
Yeah.
I honestly don't disagree with you in this case. The same people who constantly talk about how important the Supreme Court is, as John DeVore did correctly, should be happy that Trump made his announcement in primetime and got coverage from all the major networks.
Yeah, and it's like they're canceling television shows to show this TV show, knowing that they're safe as far as ratings go.
Right.
Because people are surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, I got to find out. Who's it going to be?
Yeah.
Who's getting the rose?
Yeah. John, now that we've cleared that up, you said you and your friends want this to be serious, and Trump makes it silly like a beauty queen pageant. So you mean serious, like slow jamming the news?
No, that was the president going on a talk show and having fun, not introducing a nominee for Supreme Court. The White House is not the set for the real world. Dig?
I think the American people have proven that you're wrong about that.
I think the real world's been gone for a while, right?
No, it's still on.
Is it?
Yes,
Live in a house anyway.
They're in Birmingham now.
Dude, I'm 50 years old. I don't know if the real world's still on.
You look good, though.
Man. Thanks, man. Also, John, you said Gorsuch will roll over like a dog and show his belly.
That might have been hyperbole.
Well, in all seriousness, I think you're 100% wrong on this. I think his record as a federal judge backs me up, and I do think there are going to be times when conservatives are not happy with him. I really do think that.
What, in terms of his views on executive power?
Among other things. In terms of his views of something has to be in the Constitution in order for it to be constitutional.
Hey, don't get me wrong. He gave a great, decent speech, and he should be obstructed.
Oh.
Nuclear option.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's see how that works out for you guys. We're in power. I didn't think that through.
It usually does work out well if you're the only one that has nukes.
Well, I guess that word, the nuclear option is great if the Republicans are going to be in power permanently.
For long enough.
Right.
No. 2018.
Christina, you said it was amazing that the White House could finally keep a secret. Was it really that much of a secret, though? The Independent Journal Review confirmed it with Gorsuch. But the Independent Journal Review confirmed it with Gorsuch during the afternoon. Other news outlets confirmed it soon after that.
I mean, Congress didn't know until like an hour before. He walks out by himself into the East Room, keeps up that suspense, and then he calls up Gorsuch and his wife. That's showmanship, right?
Oh, I agree.
Must-see TV.
I agree it was showmanship. Absolutely.
Did you know?
What's that?
Maybe he called you. Maybe you were the only person who knew.
I did not know. I only knew what I was reading.
Me too.
Yeah, which were mainly just dumb tweets. Rito, did you know Neil at Columbia?
No, I did not. In fact, I didn't know you either, but I don't think you were taking any of the kind of classes I was taking, Andy.
Were they the kind where you had to show up? Because if so, then you're right.
Yeah, right so.
I was not kidding about it taking me 9 years to graduate. Although, to be fair, 3 of those years I was in the Army. So I get a pass. I get a pass for that. So it only took me 6 years, which really is nothing. Not at all. My parents were so proud. The Tom Brady stuff. Sam, you said this story is really about people hating Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this story honestly makes me livid because now I have to defend Tom Brady, who, like any sane person, I despise.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. People they're trying to collect evidence to say this is another reason why Tom Brady sucks, and then you, as a thinking person, have to be like, well, technically he doesn't suck because of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I just think he has every right to not want to talk about anything that's not Super Bowl related.
Of course he does, especially if he's not going out there and being like, here's my stance. Like he had a hat in his locker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Tom, you said, sorry, Kurt Schilling, but we're bringing in a lefty to close.
Yeah.
What did that mean?
It's like Kurt Schilling's a righty, I guess, and bring in a lefty relief pitcher.
Who?
I don't know. But like lefty, like political left, and a lefty on the pitcher's mound.
It's like sports, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sports.
All right.
Explain the joke. That always works.
It was good. It was good. Everybody laughed, right?
Yeah.
Good one, Tom.
No, they absolutely did. Yeah, that's on me. John, you said Brady can be friends with Trump and he can be despised for it. Absolutely. But he also doesn't have to talk about it if he doesn't want to, right?
That was my point.
It didn't seem like it was your point.
No, I said that after. I was like,
I think you said he had to address it.
because he's public about it.
He's not, because one time he said something like, yeah, I'm friends with Donald Trump before he was president.
That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I supported Colin Kaepernick's right to protest. I support Brady's right to keep quiet if he wants to.
Sure, and then I have a right to talk about people I don't really know anything about.
No, absolutely. And you prove that every night. Sam, you said one of the reasons you become an athlete is to avoid books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of a stereotype, and I think you should feel bad for saying it.
No. I went to Syracuse with Carmelo Anthony, and it's true.
No, okay.
Yeah, he wasn't a strong student.
All right. I would highly recommend reading Instant Replay by Jerry Kramer.
I don't read.
Oh, are you an athlete?
No.
Well,
no,
then you have to read.
Best of no worlds. Just me.
All right. Anyway, he was a lineman during the Vince Lombardi era for the Packers, and he wrote a diary of the, I think it was the 1968 season, maybe 67. But he addresses the fact that people were shocked that he was writing a book, as if an athlete couldn't write a book.
Yeah, but like,
And
you know, your one example of an athlete that did that was with like Vince Lombardi. That was a long time ago.
A man put in a word for the great Jack Kemp, a Buffalo Bills player, who became a congressman, wrote several very good books.
I think that's like all the athletes right there. Good point.
Christina, why in the world do you want the Patriots to win?
Why do I?
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan.
Of the
I mean,
Patriots?
I like the teams that are hated, you know, because if you're being hated, you're doing something right. Look at you. You're good looking, you're rich, you have a great job. You're probably hated too. Right,
there
Andy?
you go, Andy.
Is it bad to be hated? People at the top are hated.
I'm now a Patriots fan. That was easy. John, I take issue with you saying we're forcing football players to bash their heads against each other for money. They're not prisoners.
We're encouraging them.
That's
We're
a better word.
rewarding them
That's a
with
better
treasure
word. Yes.
to ruin their
And to be clear, the NFL, and particularly Roger Goodell, can suck it for hiding evidence of concussion stuff. My only thought is, the evidence needs to be out there, and then people can make their individual decision if they want to maybe screw up the rest of their lives. But withholding evidence, Roger Goodell should probably, I can't say that because I'll get in trouble.
well said.
Not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
Boycotting the DC hoagie chain. Rito, you won't eat at any chain restaurant? Is this true?
No, I like organic, locally sourced.
You're a communist, aren't you?
I'm a right-winger who shops at the farmer's market. I mean, I got to tell you, but we're all a bunch of contradictions.
You one of those crunchy thighs?
I am.
He's so complex.
I wore my Make America Great Again hat to the
1%
Abingdon Square Farmers Market. I practically got stoned by everybody in the West Village where I live.
I do think, John, you might have a good point about people trying to avoid, doing things like shaking hands with Trump. Can we roll the tape from Gorsuch? What is that?
That's just look. President Trump needs a hug, and that was him. He was trying to pull him in for a hug.
He's not going to be able to hold his gavel for
him.
months.
Well, Savor's right. It was just a vigorous shake. He was excited.
No, he was trying to pull him in for a hug because Donald Trump is broken inside.
No.
I gotta go.
He needs a hug from his dad.
Thank you, Andy.
Bye.
Coming up, how many women have to star in a movie to make it not sexist? The world may never know. But first, Kennedy. The first images of Ocean's 8, an all-female reboot of Ocean's 11, have surfaced online. It didn't take long for astute social justice warriors to figure out that 8 is less than 11. Specifically, 72% less. I guess women can do math, huh?
Oh!
Whoa. Here are some tweets. Why does the women's version of the Ocean's movies only have 8? Women only get 72% of what men have? It's 2017, Warner Brothers. You couldn't even pony up for 11 crew members for the heist. Gender pay gap. Hopefully, a coincidence that the all-female movie Ocean's 8 has 72% of cast that Ocean's 11 had. Now, no one knows for sure why there are fewer female criminals in this flick. Maybe the studio wanted to save money. Maybe the writers wanted to point out the pay gap. Or maybe they had 11 women, and 3 of them realized that a life of crime will never live up to the joys of marriage and motherhood.
Really?
I mean, it's possible. I'm saying, look, Christina, I'm presenting the many possibilities. Look, do you think this is sexist, or is it sexist to point out that there's only 8 women?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what their budget is. Because if you're thinking how much they're paying the actors for each movie, you would want to be one of 8, because then you get paid more, right?
That's right.
Then
More
11,
money.
you have to split the share with more people.
You're right.
Plus,
as long-
that Chinese guy's like half a person 'cause it's small.
Right? No one else could say that on this panel, right? Could we?
And what
we
are
were
they
all
all looking
thinking it.
depressed on the subway?
Yeah.
The guys in the limos.
I don't under. This picture is not the greatest advertisement for it. But
terrible.
are you going to see this movie, Sam?
Also, I like to see all the movies.
You do?
Yeah, I like to see what's going on. But there's, like, when this movie does terribly, which obviously it will, I hope that we realize that, like, the key to bringing us together is not to just say whatever roles that men can do, women can do as well in the exact same movie. We'll just remake it. Plus, it's not like the Oceans. There's a couple of things. The Ocean's 11 movie, the first one, it's not like they were all millionaires. There's like Brad Pitt and George Clooney, but a lot of the other ones were probably just working for scale. Or
You're right.
Matt Damon.
And
Matt Damon, yeah.
Ocean's 11 had a sequel, right?
Yeah.
Ocean's 12.
Yeah.
And then Ocean's 13.
Yeah.
So what if Ocean's 8, they're just like, we're going to give the ladies even more sequels. There's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
You're right.
No.
Look, I don't know, Riedel, will you see this movie? Are you as sure as Sam is, because he's uncomfortable with women in challenging roles, are you sure that it's going to be a bomb?
I don't care. I think it's probably going to be a bomb. Most of these awful Hollywood movies are bombs. And by the way, nobody should watch these remakes of Ocean's 11 when you have the originals. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. Now that's a classy crew.
It is a classy crew, but let's face it, Ocean's 11, it was not the greatest film, was it?
It wasn't. No, these remakes are terrible. I have no
I'm talking the Dean Martin version, the
but it's
Sinatra
fun.
version.
It's fun. The Rat Pack era. It's great. It's
not good.
Yeah, it's not a great
It's
movie.
not a good movie.
Fine, but they had class. They had style.
The Brad Pitt one's a lot
easily
better.
and naturally. And all these Hollywood people today, they got to fake the style.
Yeah.
They got to pretend the style. They don't have it naturally the way Sinatra and Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. I don't mind, by the way, these women making the Ghostbusters movies and Ocean's 11. But I draw the line at James Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond must always be a man. I don't
That's
want
right.
June Bond or Jane Bond.
DeBoer, take it away. You got 30 seconds, DeBoer. Go.
I'm not in the safe space here at Fox News, am I? I will be a capitalist. These are big stars. Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett. It'll be a big hit. They should make movies if they think there's a market for the movie.
Got it.
Sorry for defending capitalism.
Some things.
Coming up tomorrow on the next Red Eye, John Podhoretz, The Doctor, Kelly Powers, Aruba Ray Allen, and Paul Odo. The Falcons have landed in Houston for Super Bowl 51. Actually, these Falcons are not from Atlanta. They belong to a Saudi prince who bought seats for 80 of them on a commercial flight. He sounds rich. Falcons are status symbols in the Middle East. Qatar Airways even has rules about traveling with them. A maximum of 6 Falcons are permitted within the economy class cabin.
My God.
Clearly, an exception was made for the prince. Members of the Saudi royal family are famous for their lavish spending. The family has a vast fortune, the bulk of it from inventing the big mouth Billy Bass. Did you know that's where it came from, DeBoer?
I did not know the Saudis' fortunes came from inventing that whimsical novelty item.
Yes, yeah.
No
amazing.
idea. I learned so much here.
Now, what do you think of these? Did you know that I didn't know Falcons were a status symbol in that part of the world?
I did not know.
Yeah.
The Saudis are a level of rich where they can just be the
These are poor Saudis.
I looked at that. I looked at
coach.
that. That's amazing.
Those are poor
That's-
Saudis. They have to mingle with the commons and
If they were
coach.
rich, they'd have a private
These are
plane
not
for the
rich
Falcons.
Falcons.
They look like they're on a JetBlue flight.
You're making a good observation. If the guy's so rich, what's he doing buying tickets for them? It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Something fishy is going on.
Maybe he's not that Saudi rich.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe there's different tiers of Saudi
He's trying to
rich.
rub his wealth in the faces of the people. Like, he specifically wanted to pick a flight with like 3 seats booked.
Yeah.
So that those 3 people would know, like, well, if you do a private plane, which you could obviously afford, who knows? You and your aunt, you know what I mean? But if you do a commercial flight, the whole world is going to know. It's like when rappers buy like jewelry instead of investing in stocks. You can wear jewelry. The world can know that you have become financially successful.
Right.
Oh, Falcons are like the grill.
That's it. You
Got it.
understand.
Yeah, they
get
are.
it.
I don't like, I'm not a bird person. I don't know if anybody, I find them off-putting. Did you ever,
they stink.
Well, did you ever go around someone who's a bird person? They sit on their,
They
I
always
don't like
leave
them.
something behind.
Yeah, they're
What was
like-
the airplane snack for these Falcons? They eat pigeons.
The same thing. I think they like.
Well, you know, falconry is a long tradition. Sports of very aristocratic people, and these Saudis are trying to pretend they're aristocrats, so they've adopted the aristocratic.
He's going to keep talking. We got to go. The show's over. Barry Fisher, thanks, Christina Bork, Michael Reel, John DeVore, and Sam Roberts. That does it for me, Tom Shalhoub, and I'll say goodbye and see you next time.